Good evening. Welcome one and all to another edition of YouTube's Cop Talk. We are back once again, man, with loads to talk about. And it seems like every week we've got 2 games to talk about, man. Every week there's 2 games to talk about. Loving it. The more football, the more the merrier. I'm loving it, man. How are we doing, Dr. Blake? How are we doing, sir?
I'm well, man. It's been a good week. And looking forward to the weekend's fixtures, man.
Yeah, I must say. Stoney, how are you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. The same thing you were saying as well. All of these seems like we've been having, I was going to say double game weeks, but it's not because we're always in different competitions. But this is what happens when you're an elite club, Artie, man. We're just always in the conversation, always in games. But you're right. There's just so much things happening, man. So it's nice.
Man. It is non-stop, man. It's like my TV's just permanently showing football. Trust me. My girls are like, what's going on? Are you always watching football? They said, it's not even your team. I said, I don't care. Just leave it.
And you know as well, I guess, big up Sky Sports, BT Sports, TNT Sports, by driving up their prices so high that everyone was forced to go and get Fire Sticks.
Yeah.
Now, there's just more people. So you see how sometimes greed can work in your favor?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, mate.
Oh, yeah. Big up the Fire Stick crew.
Goes out CW. Nice to have you on board, sir. Okay, so the first one we're going to kick off with, gentlemen, is Brentford Liverpool. I don't know what this team is trying to do to me, but it wasn't a nice ride. My beard was nearly as grey as Stoney's. Listen, right? Listen, I could have mashed up the TV, everything. That game had so much emotions in it. I just couldn't believe what was going on. Serious. It was. Yo, this one's for you, Doctor. Yeah.
Chris Welsh.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what can I say about this match, man? How many chances do we need, lads?
Do you know what? I kind of looked in it. I looked in it as a game of resilience on our side, right? And I do echo what you were saying as well, Artie, in terms of being frustrated. I think the way that Brentford were set up, they played in a 4-4-2 this game, so they made a slight adjustment to the way that they usually set up against us. I think Bembo was over on the right hand side, and they played Damsgaard up front with Wissa. I'm going to speak about Damsgaard afterwards, actually, near the end, because I'm sure he actually looks like one of the oldest players in football. I can't believe when you see this brother's appearance, when you used to watch those old films from the war, and then them youngsters, it was about 17, but they look like about 65. That's how this brother looks. But anyway,
looks like on another note, that we used to have back in the day. He played centre. I'm sure he's centre half for us.
He looks like he's one of those characters from Games of Thrones.
Yeah, he does, isn't it? Yeah, like when them Northman who's just been born to that fight.
I'm trying to remember his name, man. We had a centre half who looked just as old like that.
But
you see what it was. What upset me with Brentford was, I know that they can score goals. They're very good going forward. They're very creative. They can score goals, but their defense is whack, man. They leak goals. I'm saying, you know what? We're gonna bang some goals today, man.
Don't you think a lot of our shots? It reminded me the first half reminded me a lot of the Nottingham Forest game where a lot of our shots were from really far. I think opening in that game, Ryan was shooting from far. Gapco had an opportunity, I think, in the second half where he flashed it. Dom hit the crossbar. I think in that game, hit the crossbar in that game as well. But we were up against our old boy Van der Berg in defence there. But I don't know. Artie, I was frustrated, but I also was trying to look at it and thinking, well, Brentford were set up really, really, really well. I mean, we had, I think on the last show, I think it was either yourself, Doctor, or Preds mentioned how much shots we had against Forest. We had 37 shots this game.
Yeah.
37 shots. I think in terms of creating, we must be doing something that's working to our own advantage. But in terms of finishing, I don't know, I don't know whether we're going to question that, and we'll probably get onto that. I don't know whether it's to do with the goalie being okay, but yeah, it was a frustrating game until, and we'll come to it, until the player from Liverpool that decided to tune into our show from last week decided.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Doctor, did you find it frustrating?
Because I think what's difficult to work out, right, is are we hitting a bad run of form? But then when you watch the game, well, should I say, like, when you step back and you watch the game, you realize that actually we've got good control. We are creating chances. We are trying to win games. So there's going to be naturally a few kind of gaps at the back. So actually, we're actually in a good run of form, but it just feels like in individual moments where you just need a bit of composure, we're just not showing the right amount of quality. Because like that Cody Gakpo chance, what's the most when he drags it like wide of his left foot? I think to myself, Cody, like for me, you're one of our most composed players. Like you could have done anything other than do that. You could have let it run across you and kill the keeper. You could have cut back in. I was like, Cody, like and you wonder, is this the pressure getting to the players a little bit? Because all Slot can really do is create a good tactical blueprint. And yeah, if we're getting 37 shots, we had an XG of like 4.2. Then you just think to yourself, guys, just relax. And I think where I always try to judge our performances is I look at how vexed Van Dijk gets. And there's moments in the game where Van Dijk was just like, what's going on here, innit? Like you can almost see him being like, flip's sake, you lot. Like do your jobs, innit? So I do think the players were feeling the pressure. I think one positive thing, and we spoke about it last week, was Dom Szoboszlai. And like he had two moments where he has that little kind of jinking run in the box and he gets off a shot. Then he has the rasper. And I'm just like, Dom, this is what we need to see from you. Like for me, as I said, I think was it last week, I thought you've got the best shot in the team, probably one of the best in the league. Furthermore, in Europe, you've got to be shooting, bruv. You've just got to be shooting. Like it's like Mo Salah not using his pace. It don't make no sense, bruv. Like if you can lash it, innit? So I thought that was encouraging. But yeah, I just feel like maybe the pressure was getting to them. Maybe there was a bit of fatigue. But boy, sometimes you have to call for Nunes, boy. Sometimes you have to call for the man. I'm in about 7 WhatsApp groups, and every group man is saying to me, bro, don't you celebrate. Don't you celebrate.
Luke Littler is 18, but looks 28.
Oh, really?
18, I'm 25. I see the point. Yeah, yeah, no, you're right there, mate. But on that though, Brentford had a few chances as well and should have gone in front. To be fair, especially the one, was it Damsgaard who missed it when it come across the goal?
Yeah, earlier in the game. Yeah. It's like I don't think he could get his It almost seems like he either couldn't sort his feet out. I mean, the thing is, he could have just thrown his thigh out. Any connection on his body, and that goal would have, the ball would have gone in the net. So yeah, you're right. He had that opportunity there as well.
But for me though, that was their only real chance. I thought, other than that, yes, they had moments, but I thought our defending was like really good. To be fair, yeah, we got counted a couple of times on corners, and there was that one where was it this Trent attempt a ambitious pass, and then he gets cut out, and then I think it's Mbeumo's 1-on-1 against Dom, and he holds him up for long enough, and then Trent gets back in. So they had a couple of moments, but I thought we were dominant. It's just I think our nerves in it because we know how important the actual game is.
But good evening, VW. Nice to have you on board, sir. CW said, I felt we deserved the win. Goals came a bit late. Preferred it earlier, but nothing better late. Goals for your team.
Absolutely.
I tell you what.
Great chances of Forest. The keeper was an annoying so-and-so. We had good chances versus Brentford too. Subs made the difference in both games.
True.
Yeah, it's true. Our subs once again making the difference. I must say, well done to Slot for that again. And the big question is, I think this one might be a doctor. Are fans going to apologise to Nunes?
Boy,
is this enough for us to apologise to?
No. No. It is a start of him contributing to our title challenge. But I just think to myself, how many seasons did Makeda get for Man United after scoring that last minute brace against Villa that then won them the title? Like 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals don't mean that your place in the squad long term shouldn't be questioned. And like I said, when I said last week that Ahmad scored more goals than Nunes has all week in 9 minutes, these weren't lies. He's got 4 Premier League goals. He showed some quality finally, but the jury's still out. But yeah, he's doing well, man. Like Origi scored in big moments as well against Barcelona. Like, I don't mean that he went levels. Bloody Neil Mellor, we can all see Neil Mellor crashing that rasper against. It was against
Neil Mellor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because you scored an important goal, that doesn't mean that the long-term questions about your quality have been built up over a period of time. So yeah, if Nunes continues to fire all season and deliver, then by all means, I will put my hands up and say, Saudi, he's now worth £100 million. Let's do the deal. But
he joins when he wants.
He joins
when he wants. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
How was training tonight then, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm just feeling my toes. It's rough. It is nuts out there, but yeah, I had to do a little jog out there as well, just to keep myself warm. But I couldn't wait to get back, get on the cocktail, start talking Liverpool.
Okay. So VW says sometimes as a fan, it's hard to appreciate the qualities of your team when you're emotionally invested.
That is so accurate. That is so true.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true, because I think even if we're just speaking about some of our performances this season, we're winning. We're winning in lots of different ways as well. But it's almost as if, and I can't speak for the panel or anybody else, it's almost like I'm saying to myself, I want more, in terms of just saying, look, appreciate this. Something's being built under Slot. I think we've spoken on previous shows in terms of him making any form of tactical changes, and then us obviously being in a much better position in the second half and obviously winning games. But yeah, Vinny's right. I think I just need to take a step back, appreciate it, and stop trying to nitpick and looking at the things that we're not doing as opposed to the things we are doing, and just appreciate this new style of football. So Vinny's right, man.
I'm going to just challenge that very quickly. And I know sometimes I think the fans can be a little bit harsh, but I think there's context with that, right? So a few things. One, we came so close to winning the league twice on the clock and didn't get it. What was it? 98 points and 94 points. We've seen how being excellent hasn't been enough to get us over the line. 2 on the clock, we've lost in 2 Champions League finals. 3, we've seen that in recent seasons, there hasn't been the squad investment. 4, if you can tell me another manager in Europe who's who's come into a top team and not made any signings, then please find me one. So I think we're in the January transfer window. We're seeing centre-backs dropping. We're seeing the forwards dropping off. Fans are questioning, should we be signing players? And then when we see then like the players struggling, I feel it's right for fans to question. We've then got the contract issues with Trent, Mo, and Van Dijk. Against Man U, we saw that Trent's head wasn't in the game, and therefore he couldn't perform. Mo's now dropped off a little bit. So I feel there's reasons for fans to be a little bit agitated.
100%.
I don't think we're being like Arsenal fans. And trust me, please, no one ever be like Arsenal fans, who are apparently the best team in Europe right now, although they're third in the Champions League. Anyway, that's another story.
But you see, Doctor, you see, even in terms of that, and as you were saying, possibly feeling a little bit anxious or agitated as fans, I can only probably think of, and there's probably lots more. I can probably only think of, if it was something and we're aware that there's certain positions that we want our squad to be invested in. All right. So whether it's a left back or another forward or another midfielder, XYZ, we all know what positions we'd like for Liverpool. I don't think we're going to get any signings in this transfer window, but I'm confident that at the end of the transfer window, we probably will. And you know what? I think it's one of those things. Yeah, FSG, people can question what's happening. You know, we've had a lot of changing, seeing a hierarchy of the club and XYZ. I'm confident that whatever players are brought into the squad at the end of the season are going to be beneficial to us long term. I'd prefer for us to bide our time than for us to go in and make, you know, probably rash or knee-jerk reactions to players and they just simply don't fit in. That's the way that I see it at the moment.
Oh yeah, 100. And I'm all for taking a long-term strategic role. And I watched the Bournemouth versus Newcastle game last Saturday, the lunchtime game, and Bournemouth absolutely clapped them, and Newcastle have been on fire.
Yep.
I'm saying to myself, okay, Liverpool fans, that Bournemouth team that you're watching was created by our sporting director. Other than I think Kepa, all of the other players he signed. So I have no doubts that the transfer committee are going to start to make some really intelligent and shrewd signings. I guess what I'm saying though, although I'm patient with that, I can understand why like a lot of fans are like, where's the signings? I do understand.
But you know what, saying that, right? I believe that you have to look at now. Man City are not performing as their usual best. Arsenal have not been in even 100%. We've got an excellent chance to win the league. I think, you know what? Let's try and invest them back that.
Agreed.
Let's to back ourselves up. I'm not saying go crazy in the transfer market,
but at least one.
Maybe a 1-2 signing, just, you know, just to help out with the squad, just to make sure, because we've got a lot of games to play. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you've got a good opportunity.
I'm with you, because let's say they identify that they want Kirkes to be the long-term left back, just like for example, and they know that in the summer they can get it for £30 million, whereas right now it might cost £45 million. For me, like you do it now.
Yeah, get it over.
Yes, it's £50 million or more, but we're talking just one. We're talking one overpay just to get us over the line, especially like you said, because of how Man City is struggling and Arsenal are, I guess, like bipolar FC right now. So it makes sense just to.
Let me just check. Prince, are you frozen or you here, mate?
I'm here, mate. I'm just sitting back and just listening and just.
We noticed, mate.
It's almost like I'm on the other side. I'm just sitting there thinking, oh yeah, it's all right. Yeah, these guys are talking.
Man said, Prince having a jog and getting warmed up for the podcast. That's dedication. Sounds like Roy Castle. Yeah, so Nunes now, he needs to show this kind of thing consistently. This is what's needed. Even CW saying that, yeah? No good. Look, because you have to remember, the last time he did something like that was against Newcastle. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
It was good enough last Saturday, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was.
I'm just living. Listen, I'm just living the ride. Really, I'm living the ride, making adjustments. Like we're on this big roller coaster, and I know that you're talking about next season and everything. I'm like, listen, we ain't even got through half. We've just got through halfway through this season.
Yeah, true.
And what the players have played magnificently well. The manager's done, like Dr. Clark has said, what manager in Europe or in the world is able to go in and actually take over a side like what Liverpool have? Did he not make one signing?
Yes, he has.
And produce one signing. Sorry, is it one signing?
Saying that, gents.
One signing.
The goalkeeper, isn't it?
And Kaiser.
Forget?
Who?
Chaser.
Oh yeah, Chaser. Yeah. You know what? It's good. It's good that Chaser, he got a little bit of a run out, and he's getting these little bits and pieces. But
He
is looking all right. He looks rusty, yeah, but he's still got those little jinks, little turns. It's just a matter of time,
to
isn't
get
it?
that shot off on target.
Yeah.
To save. I'm telling you.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
like, every game he seems to be able to get a shot in.
Yeah.
On target. Like, okay.
He gets a shot in, and then we score off a rebound. And to be fair, like I'm being critical of Darwin Núñez. Yeah, I've got to be honest. As a striker, like if he took 2 steps backwards and read the play and took 2 steps back, as Chaser scored, then losing. But then we're just nitpicking. I was really happy for Darwin. To be fair, I was really happy. Great timing in the 91st and 94th minute. Great timing. Could have probably could have got sent off.
Who could have
maybe
Darwin Núñez.
Oh yeah.
So he's rode his luck there. He's rode his luck, but you're absolutely right. It's brilliant that he scored, but now it's a case of it's a business end of the season. He needs to consistently start scoring goals, and it's not easy. No one said it is easy. However, he's in a position where he's in the firing line, and strikers are rated by the goals they score.
Of course. Hey, CW, you said you told your dad to put a bet on Núñez scoring versus Brentford. You had a strange feeling. Did he actually put the bet on? That's what I want to know. Did he actually put it on? He says this first position we should be aiming for first in all trophies. Very true.
On Núñez, I think I'm gonna defend him very quickly here, right? This is in response to the Lille game, and I just thought to myself, we know how important he can be for our season simply because he's the only one of his type, a physical striker who can occupy the defenders. So you can see where that type of player can be very important for us winning games. But against Lille, like I'm watching the game, and I guess I'm thinking about Mo Salah. I'm just like, you don't need to take 6 efforts in every game. There's so many opportunities. You're bearing down on goal. Núñez has just hit 2. He always tries to find you. Look up and try and find him, man.
Yeah.
Because our season isn't reliant upon you winning the Ballon d'Or. Our season is reliant upon all of our forwards contributing. So if the man's always setting you up, you can look up and try and find him. And then I'm watching that Lille game. I think Mo had 7 shots. Núñez didn't have, I think Núñez may have had 1 shot. Like, I'm not even sure he had a shot. So I'm just like, Mo, you've got to share around the love a little bit, man. Like,
but you know what? Yeah, but Dr. Blake, I'm gonna listen. Yeah, but you know what? I'm not gonna criticize a player who's just hungry. He's hungry. If he wants to, like, he's taken to.
There's hungry, there's greedy.
Yeah, but some of the best strikers in the world in the game of football are greedy.
Yeah, but it's shooting from where you're in terrible angles. You're in a terrible angle, and like there's options in it. Now, I'm not saying I can recall any obvious chances, but I just feel because Núñez hasn't really got much. Well, I'll rephrase that. Because Núñez knows that he himself is struggling, I don't feel he's confident to scream at Salah and say, pass me the ball like Mane would have done, innit? I just think he just humbly just accepts when Salah just wants to do Salah things and beat man and shoot. But I'm just like, come on, Mo, man. The guy's just got a brace. Yes, you haven't scored for a couple of games, but like just like try and find your teammates sometimes, innit? And I just thought against Lille, like Darwin can't. So if someone can recall Darwin actually shooting, because I actually can't personally, but like to my recollection, Darwin didn't have a single shot. And Mo's having 7. So that ain't right there, man. Like you got to share.
But you know what, Doctor, just to extend on that as well, there was a couple of opportunities, even in the second half in that little game, where Curtis Jones actually had an opportunity to thread Núñez in, and he kept playing it over towards the right, towards Salah. Núñez was actually making very, very, very good runs centrally. But the midfielders were not playing the ball centrally through him. They kept going through Salah. I don't know whether that's an instruction or, as you said, me looking to nitpick. But the runs he was making, I think if the midfielders had played him through, he would have been getting shots on goals. So I think for me, if I was Nunes, I would have been frustrated in that Lille game personally. I'm just saying, I think I'd have been.
Yeah, because my thing with Nunes,
frustrated in that.
because I think with Nunes, he's streaky in it. I feel like he's a streaky forward. But he's one of these guys. When he gets 2, he can now go on a run where he might score in 9 games out of the next 12. I think that's what his game is like a little bit. So I think now his confidence is up. Let's try and play to that a little bit, man. Let's try and use that to get us over the line in a few games. And yeah, he might dip off in a couple of months' time, but for right now, his confidence is up. Like, let's at least say we get him chances and he misses, then so be it. But at least get the number 9 a chance.
Yeah, yeah, you have to. No, I fully agree with that, and I've seen it before, and it has been detrimental to us, and it has been with Salah not squaring the simple balls to Mane when Mane would have just had a tap in. And that season we went on to lost the title to Man City. I've seen it, man, and it could be detrimental. You know what?
Yeah, I just find it a bit frustrating, man.
Just get the game, just win the game.
Yeah, just
win the game. That's the first and foremost. Win the game. After that is a bonus, man. Just get the 3 points in.
Yeah, but you can't blame him, man. You can't blame him. Look, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with that situation. It's just the fact that look, Mo Salah's. We're talking about Mo Salah in particular. Yeah, there's times when he should have blatantly squared balls to other players, but the man's hungry. Like the goals pay the rent. Like the guy's hungry. But the thing is, you mentioned
there's a difference.
Yeah, but
greedy.
Yeah, he's hungry, greedy. But
hungry players are not players who just shoot all the time. They're players who work hard and get in that same position time and time again to score goals. That's hungry players.
But if you look at the data and look at the facts, Mo Salah's how many goals has Mo Salah scored?
Because he shoots 100 times. So you better be the top scorer.
Yeah. So what do you want your strikers to do? What do you want your strikers to do?
He better be the top scorer.
Yeah.
Like you can have strikers. You can have strikers out there who you think, oh yeah, he's squaring the ball and everything. He's scoring 2, 3, 4 goals a game. Mo Salah's scoring double figures every season.
The amount of shots he's having, he better.
But hold on for a second. Yeah, but hold on a second. Would you rather the opposite? That he wasn't as hungry, he wasn't as fit, and Mo Salah's Mo Salah. And
you have to pick and shoot. It's the same thing. Like, listen, you coach football, you know. It's the same thing you were told, like your centre half. There's times when you play ball, and there's times when you clear your lines. There's times when you're going to shoot, and there's times when you will pass the ball. Simple.
But when you're in the final, but you can't coach players, or you can't tell players what to do in the final third. You have to let them go and express themselves, and let them go and play in regards to making decisions. And you've got to remember, the game is like the game. The level they're playing at, the speed that the ball's going at, their decision making is a fraction of a second. So it's like, yeah, he might shove it to the left and hit it over the bar, but then it's just about what decision making that the decision is going to be making at the end of the day. If he's making decisions to go and shoot, if he's going to make a decision to go and shoot, brilliant.
I don't want to hear that.
I wouldn't want Mo Salah to change in any way, shape, or whether, because I think there's been times when he has squared it and he's actually assists and helped other players score goals. But the other side of it is the man's just he's hungry. If you call it hungry, greedy, whatever you want to call it, but goals pay the rent, and the facts are on the table. In fact, of the goals he scored while he's been at Liverpool, he's been absolutely phenomenal. So I wouldn't change Mo for one iota.
Yeah,
carry on being greedy.
He just veers on, because I feel there's a difference between being single-minded and being greedy, and I think there's moments where he just becomes greedy in games where other players are in. See, because I wouldn't mind if he's even having high-quality shots. It's just like he's doing some Pappy show. Like he's cutting in. There's 2 defenders in front of him, and he still shoots. It's like
that's what I'm trying. Them times when you're shooting when the man's standing right in front of you, you can't get the ball through him, bro.
It's just like, come on, like there's actions. Now look, Mo scored a wonderful goal. Big up Curtis Jones. But I guess all I'm saying is, for Nunes to have a chance, he at least has to be able to get shots off. And if your number 9 is not having not one shot on target, and the right winger striker come forward, like whatever Mo is taking like 7 shots in the game, you've got to share the love a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Try and have.
Yeah, but you could. Yeah, but you can pull it. You can then pull it the other way and say, well, then he's not getting the service from the other players surrounding him.
Yeah, agree.
Oh no.
And
Everybody.
And then the other side of it is Mo Salah creates a lot of the goals for himself. Like there's goals that come in, but there's a lot of goals that he's scored as well, where he's actually made something out of nothing and scored. Whereas Darwin Núñez, he needs service. He's a striker. He needs service. We're not giving him that service. He can only shoot when he's got the opportunity. He had one shot against Lille where the goalkeeper saved it with his right arm. But then again, Darwin Núñez, the work rate he's putting in the work rate. He's working really hard. It just wasn't his night in regards to getting chances.
Good evening, Amit. Nice to have you on board, sir. Amit says that if it would have been a serious game against serious opponents with serious implications of the result, Mo would have passed more. He reckons.
Maybe I could maybe see that.
Hey, Chris, I like that. To be fair, we're all hungry at dinner time. Doesn't mean we can order everything on the menu. Whoa! Yes. I like
but
that.
you wouldn't think about ordering everything on the menu though. Don't stop the process.
Your bank balance. Sometimes you want lobster, but you have to look at your bank balance. You get caught. Keep it easy. Okay, so a question. I was speaking to one of my good friends, a Liverpool fan, and he put a good question. I said, you know what? I have to ask this on Cop Talk, man, because I thought this was a very, very good question that he put. So he said, if we had the chance to get Isak in a swap deal, would you swap Núñez or Jota? Yeah, see? Yeah. And that goes out to the panel as well. All you're not listening in, hit that like, that share, that subscribe. But who would you swap? If you had the chance to get Isak, it's a swap deal. Would you swap either Núñez or Jota to get him in?
For me, it's a no-brainer.
Go on.
I'll swap with Núñez.
Okay. Snowdy, why are you looking like you're not going to say nothing?
No, I was. I was.
You don't want go past me. Just miss me. No, bro. No,
I agree with Preds, and even though Jota's had a lot of injuries while he's been at Liverpool, I'd probably do the same thing. Isak is in form. I think he was in form last season. He looks like he's ready. He's settled in the Premiership, and I believe that if it was a swap, then he would hit the floor running for us at Liverpool. I don't think there'd be any issues with him settling in and relishing that opportunity to lead that front line for us. So yeah, I would straight swap between him and Núñez, and I'd keep Jota.
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah, for me, I'm swapping Jota. Although Jota is a lot more clinical than Núñez, I just think his injury record is a massive cause for concern. Plus his age. Yes, he is settled into the squad, I know that. But I just think if you're giving me Isak, then you're giving me a man who is absolutely clinical and has got class all day. So the things that Jota gives us, Isak will give us, and a slightly better injury record as well. Whereas I know that Núñez, for all of his faults, is always going to be available.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got that class up front in Isak, then yeah, I probably would swap Jota still.
Yeah, but Isak's had his own. He's got a bit of an injury history as well.
He has. It's not
He
perfect.
has.
Mm.
That's why. That's why for me, I don't see how we take Isak and Jota.
Yeah, this is it.
At the same time.
This is it.
That's the problem I'd be having. But see, what I would like is the fact of I know Jota's obviously the better finisher, but what I'd like is I've got a finisher now in Isak, and I've got that different player in Nunes.
Yeah.
If I need to change things up, then I've got Nunes.
Yeah.
But for the injury record for me, it's no good you being the best player in the world, but you're always injured.
And
So I can't get no use out of you.
Because I suppose Jota's gone again now, right? I mean, I don't even know how long for.
It's in my notes.
Yeah, yes.
Injured again.
How long is he injured for now?
We don't know how long he's going to be out now. But
Okay.
he's out. That's what I'm saying. He's out once he's been back about 2 weeks. And that's the frustrating thing. In the time he's been back, he's popped, I think, 2 goals. Since he's come 2 or 3 goals since he's come back, but now he's gone again.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. I was thinking to myself today, like he wouldn't still be carrying that injury, would he? They wouldn't like put him on the bench and risk him in regards to that.
You put him back early.
Well, he played in the FA Cup game, didn't he? He started, so he was kind of his fitness and his gameplay was ramping up, and he was getting more minutes. So it must be obviously something's happened in training.
It always seems to be
Let me just say good
muscular
evening.
injuries for him, isn't it?
SB. Good evening to Mark Foster as well. Nunes for Isak. I'm losing my patience with hospital bed models at this club at the moment. And Mark is saying Isak in, Jota out. He spends more time on the hospital bed. Feeling sad to say it. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. I just think Isak is an upgrade on Jota. And I think Jota's very, very good. Don't get me wrong, I think maybe you could argue they're finishing. You could possibly argue Jota is maybe a bit more clinical, but Isak's clinical, and I think Isak's all-round game is on a different level to Jota's.
Yeah, I think Isak is more of a natural striker though.
Yeah, agree.
Jota's not, so and Jota's plays can play on the left as well. Right, Isak's always going to play down the middle.
Yes, good player, man. Good player.
I think I'm just kind of from an emotional part of it. I think Jota's one of my favourite players. I think the way he plays, I love him. I love him. I hear what you're saying about Darwin Nunes, but like someone has said, like losing patience with him in regards to waiting for him to come alive. And I know the variations and what you said. You're absolutely, it's your opinions. I just feel like, you know what, Isak and Jota in the same team. The football intelligence in that is,
yeah.
If they click,
I think that's for real. But how long could we have that going before one of them is out injured?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Whereas, how since we've had Darwin, how many injuries has he had?
Not many.
Exactly.
No.
Not many.
Not many. No. I get you. It'll be thingy.
Always available. Yeah, it's a tough one because we see with players like Jota, you don't find them a pound a penny natural finishers like that. That's the one thing you don't.
Yeah, and he is one. He is like
he's a natural.
Natural, yeah.
Yeah, that's not coached into him. He's a natural.
No. I just think his game and his all-round game and he's getting better. Like, remember how much did we get him from Wolves? I can't remember how much we got him for.
I think 45.
Jota.
Yeah, 40 million. 40 million from Wolves. Yeah, he's so far. Yeah, so far I think he's been a really good investment. Like you say, the injuries, but hopefully if we can get clear of it, like we've got a world-class striker on our hands.
There's Jota may be best finisher, but I want fit players, not like Nunes. has to start either. Nunes got 7 goals, 4 assists off the bench. Mark goes on to say, but Newcastle won't let Isak go for less than 100 mil. Will Liverpool spend that on one player?
I wouldn't spend 100 million on Isak first. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, but it depends though. If you're going to sell as well first, and you're going to use that money to invest.
Don't get me wrong. I think he is £100 million footballer. I think he's probably more than that. If Declan Rice is going for £100 million in the current market, he's probably worth about 140. It's just the injuries, man. I know maybe his injury record isn't as bad as what I think it is, but I just feel like, you see, when you're making that kind of big investment and the pressure that's going to come with that, you've got to be on the pitch.
Massive.
Like, you have to be on the pitch. You have to be on the pitch. Have to be. And yeah, 140 and you're going to miss 30% of every season. I don't know, man. Don't know.
100 mil is a lot of money.
No, listen, Man City paid 100 mil for Jack.
A lot of
How did
money.
that work out?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if you manage to get Isak on for £1 million in the form that he's in at the moment, that's a snip. That's
Don't get me wrong.
good quality.
Isak in our team and he's fit, bro. Like we're cooking, isn't it? We are cooking. Lord.
cooking
Lord.
with gas, as they say.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, be
Yes.
crazy because I was watching Monday Night Football and they showed that stat about our season's XG compared to the other teams, and our XG is significantly higher than everyone else. So the chances that we're creating, Isak in that team,
Yeah.
problems.
Do you reckon, like, thinking about Isak, do you reckon in his contract he's got a clause in regards to any clubs from the top 4 or any clubs in the Champions League, if they come for him, that's a trigger for him to be allowed to go for significantly less than 100 million?
They was talking the other day, and they was talking about Newcastle are putting demands that they want 140.
Wow.
Yeah, so if he had a clause, then it doesn't matter what Man City want to say, what Newcastle want to say.
Wow. It's a lot of money.
That's a
lot of money. That's
a hell of a lot of money.
Well,
You can get Aussie money for that.
Well, let's get option for that 6
less than that.
Yeah, for
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I'm sure you could get even Goikas as well.
Oh, easy.
That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's getting good though, because there's a lot more strikers now coming out now. There was a bit of a lull with the quality of strikers.
A little lull for real. There was.
Yeah.
It was. All right, question, gentlemen. I always like to, when people talk about, maybe this player for Liverpool, maybe that player, I always like to have a look at them and then judge them once they've played us. It's one thing I do like to look at. Brian and Mbeumo.
Thumbs up for me. Thumbs up for
Who put this in the group the other day about this? Is that the brother from Brighton?
No, Mbeumo from Brentford.
Oh, sorry, misheard you. Sorry, misheard you.
Yeah.
Good player, man. I take him in a heartbeat. I think he's class.
I think he'd be like. I think you know what. He comes. If we got him, he comes across like a Shaqiri type of signing. He's going to be in and out. He's not going to be one of those players who's going to be cementing.
That's you know what, you've hit it on the head. That's how I feel. But now you've hit that name. That you've hit it on the head. That's how I feel. I'm not 100% convinced on him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then there's the other side of the coin of saying he comes to a better team with better players, maybe with a better manager, maybe he performs differently.
Yeah, maybe so.
You got to think about the problems he caused us, right? We spoke about the Damsgaard chance that came from my man.
That came from him,
the ball and passing it, and I just think he's playing for a team that don't dominate the ball. So when he gets the ball, he has to be decisive at all times. Like this is the moment. So I think you put him in our team and he gets more of the ball, more opportunities to counter sometimes, more opportunities to connect with other players, more shots, more touches in the box. I think he does bits. I think he's a good player, man. I think whoever signs him has got a very good player. Like, I think he's good.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Stoney, mate. Stoney's instruct, boy.
No. It was Artie was speaking. I was listening. I wasn't saying anything.
I called your name.
He called your name.
Oh, I don't know. For me, the jury's still out with Mbemo. I understand doctors mentioned this player on numerous occasions. I've watched him in numerous games, live games, XYZ. I still have to keep watching. And as he said, I think the thing with me, he's such a versatile player. He's left-footed, but he can play on the right side. So he can play in this last few games with Brentford, we've been playing the 4-4-2. He's been playing over on the right-hand side. He can play up front, up by himself. Whether they play in a 4-2, 3-1, when they play 3-5-2, he plays up there as well. So, I mean, he can play in so many positions, and he's 25. I mean, this season, he's goals ratio are like on 26 games. He scored 13 goals. So he's a 1 in 2 and 4 assists. So it's almost as if he said to himself, or Thomas Frank said to him, look, our previous strikers now has moved on to Saudi. It's between you and Wissa to being the main man up front.
Yep.
Who wants to occupy that position? And he said, listen, I've always been ready. And he stepped up from before. He stepped up from when Tony was first man. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think probably me and I. Yeah.
Okay, question. Who would you say looks more
myself?
Oh, sorry, Stoney. Sorry, bro.
No, go ahead. I'd finish.
I was going to say,
go ahead.
Who would you say looks more impressive? Mbeumo at Brentford or Jota when he was at Wolves?
Who would you say what? Sorry, at Brentford?
So, who would you say looks more impressive? Mbeumo at Brentford or Jota when he was at Wolves?
I think Jota when he was at Wolves. I think it's a little bit more. Mbeumo, I think he's a good player. I'm not going to say he's a good player. Is he as consistent?
I think
I don't really watch it. But the thing is, I'm saying that blind because I don't really watch Brentford games unless Liverpool playing them, obviously. But it just seems like he's one of those players. When you play against the big teams, yeah, he's alive. But then when he plays the teams, I don't want to say the lower teams, but the teams in the lower part of the table, he doesn't really. I don't see or hear of him. I hear Wissa is stepping up. It's crazy how you. Nottingham Forest want who offered 60 million for him? Someone put in an offer for Wissa.
It was Forest.
Okay.
Forest,
right.
check that out. Forest have put out two big money bids for Kuna and Mbeumo. So what's his name again?
Mbeumo.
Yeah. And yeah, 50 million plus. Nottingham Forest have offered for these players. So Wissa, I think, is actually a lot more of a effective for Brentford and an effective, probably a better signing. But I also get that Mbeumo he's got that pace, he's got that left foot. Again, I would need to see him a lot more to have a little bit more of a balanced opinion on him.
Mark Foster says he reckons that if Salah left, he'd be a great option for Mbeumo. CW says Mbeumo coming off the bench from me. I'm not sure he's consistent enough to be a starter for a top team. I said Liverpool need a transfer ban on attackers. Get a left back and a centre back, another midfielder. Wait, you might be right there, Chris. You might be right. Yeah. And Mbeumo got a lot of energy, great shooting boots. I think he definitely gets more goals than Chiesa or Nunes.
Hard to disagree with that.
Jota will track back. I'm not seeing Mbeumo do much of that. I must say, I think he's a very good player. I must say, but I'm just not 100% sold in him at the moment. Not
Right.
100%.
I was gonna say something and compare him to another player that we signed back in the day, but I didn't want to disrespect him. So I
Go
thought,
on.
for me at first I thought, remember when we bought David Speedy?
Oh goodness
Nah.
gracious!
Now
Yeah.
you're gone
No,
too far.
it's better than Speedy.
Now you're gone too far, brother.
No, at first.
Too far.
At first, I thought David Speed, but then I come up with the other name.
That's a big
My memory,
disrespect.
so that's a big disrespect. I know,
Big.
I know. That's why I didn't say his name in the first place. That's why I compared him to the other player.
Okay.
I just thought it was one of those, but it's one of those that's going around in my head, and I thought I just have to say it. It just has to come out loud.
Nah.
But yeah, remember those days though when we bought David Speedy.
For the kind of
David
money
Speedy.
that Bremer is going to cost, I like to know that if I'm spending that kind of money on them players, that they need to be starters or majorly pushing my starting players for a position. I don't want to spend that kind of money and you're coming in as backup.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that still.
You might as well go out and you might as well go out and scan the world and try and get younger players who, you get them for probably half the price, but you've got time to work and develop them. So that would probably be a better way of going. Rather
Mark
than
Foster saying, talking about Sesko. Likes to look at Sesko.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's cool.
Preds. Chris said, kick him off. For that David Speedy comment. Yeah. Hey, listen, yeah. My man at Southampton there. That left winger.
dribbling.
No, man.
No, I'm Sulemano.
Yeah.
Serious talent. It was just a strange move to make. And after going there, the previous manager weren't really even playing him. I was just like, this is just weird. Because he's been there. He's been there 2 years now. He's been there.
Yeah, listen. That could be Mane 2.0, Don't mess about.
Do you know what? I would not be against someone like him being our backup winger. And you bring him on and say to him, just go and cook, man. Because the cooking he gave that brother there for United, wow.
It was terrible.
Historic. He took him for ham sandwich, pigs on blanket, all kind of bacon.
Terrible.
Shocking.
Okay, quickly before we move on from the Brentford game, gentlemen, your Liverpool man of the match.
Ooh.
Nunes.
Yeah, Nunes.
Okay. Stoney?
Yeah. I think it'd be hard to disagree there, really. Nunes. I think it's a long time since, and I don't mind saying this, I think it's been a long time since I've been watching a game and I actually cheered in the house very, very, very loudly. It was emotional, sometimes you can hold it in. But yeah, for me, definitely.
I can never hold it in,
there, man.
Trust me, never. Okay, so we move on and then we get to
right.
for Champions League again. That elite competition, you Manx. Hear about that? Yeah. And we take on Lille. And I must say, watching them play some decent, very tidy football, must say. First, what I'm going to ask is, do you think that Harvey deserves more time, more game time?
Yeah.
It's a hard one because as much as he does, but who's he going to be playing in front of? And that's the thing that I was thinking about as well.
Question.
RT.
This is the question, gents.
Who's he going to be playing in front of? Because the thing is, if he plays in midfield, I think Slot made a slight adjustment to our formation when we played against Lille, so we played a 4-3-3, right? So even with that, it's still, for me, Ryan's still going to play. Dominic's still going to play, just going to play a little bit deeper. And then in this game, we had Jones that started as well in a free. So if Harvey Elliott does come in, he's not going to be displacing any of our current forward line. So it won't be Salah, it won't be Nunes, it won't be Jota, it won't Gakpo, it won't be Luis Diaz. So therefore, he's fighting for a place in midfield. And as much as I know we've got a combination of different midfields, whether we played a 3 or whether we played a 2, he's still not displacing anybody for a first team position. That's just the way that I feel on it.
Okay. Prince, you answered first. You said,
Yeah, and the way I said it was because Stoney hit it on the nail on the head. It's like, I would like him to play more. However, who's he going to play instead of? Right? It's one of those. But you can see when he plays in the number 10, things start to happen, and he set up the goal. He set up Trent to square it for Nunes. Like when he comes on, he's having an impact. Before, and if you think about it, before probably last season, we would be saying, yeah, Elliot comes on because he gives us that little bit of energy, he gives us more energy, X, Y, and Z. This season, we're saying we're not even mentioning energy or enthusiasm. We're mentioning about the quality and the assists that he's creating and things that he's doing like that. And I'm thinking to myself, we've got a special one on the lines there. And I'm going to keep my beady eye on him because. But then it's like, who does he play in front of? Who's he playing instead of? It's such a great problem to have.
The boy can see a pass, man. Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd been interesting if he hadn't have got injured, how much minutes he would have got throughout the season. Equally, I think maybe the Zubimendi signing not happening also plays a part in how many minutes that he would have got as well. Well, might get now, because in pre-season he was cooking, man. He was putting some ridiculous through balls through. He was linking the play very neatly. He's probably, if I think about our number 10 options, Jones and Szoboszlai, he's probably the best one in terms of taking the ball on the half turn and spotting the pass. I think technically he's so good in tight spaces. But I think why I mentioned the Zubimendi signing is, I think, although Gravenberch's done incredibly well, I think Slot's always aware that he's not a natural 6, and therefore does the central midfielders need a bit more protection, and therefore do you then always then lean a bit more to Szoboszlai, because when he plays as a number 10, his running power is just incredible. So I think that's one thing to consider. But I think against any team that's going to sit back and give us the ball, I think Harvey probably is a better option than Szoboszlai personally for the 10, simply because of just like he's like a golfer, innit? His short game's ridiculous, and the way he just sees angles, will hold on to the ball when he needs to open up space. And I like the fact that sometimes he just plays one-touch football. Like he'll just give it, go, move, give it, go, and it's almost like just like creates angles. And actually, like we've obviously given Nunes his flowers against Brentford, absolutely, but it was Harvey's 2 moments of quality that really opened up those goals. So, yeah, I think he's a valuable player for the squad, but I think as a starter, until I think there's a bit more maybe athleticism or a bit more defensive awareness in the centre midfield positions, and I think whilst Slot's giving Mo this hybrid right wing, right striker role, I just don't think he thinks Harvey's got the off the ball athleticism to cover the defensive gaps.
Okay, so Mark says that he's been saying it for weeks now, talking about Harvey starting, saying that Szoboszlai was poor the other night. Harvey Szoboszlai will switch in and out for the rest of the season. 2 assists and a goal from Harvey in 2 games say a lot for a player with no game time. There's B goes on to say that Harvey, yes, but he's a 10. He would have to replace Dominic. For now, he is a sub and the occasional starts.
I think, you know what? Like, I watched his interview.
Comments.
Yeah, watched his interview after the game, and it was a very mature interview.
Oh.
Yeah,
Love the club.
he gave, and it was good that when the presenter asked him about his celebration and what he'd done in regards to that, and he's like, I think everything's been said. I said everything I needed to say, and I think he's carrying himself off well, and he wants to play for Liverpool. He had he's not many young players like take the responsibility of taking those long shots in games. They'd rather, youngsters will normally pass it. For him to start having the confidence now to, take responsibility, in regards to those big games, it's all plaudits for him, man. And I hope he will start to cement a more of a permanent stay in the team.
Great point, Desby. Great point.
True. Desby said it's got it right. It's true. He's only 21. He's got time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got time, man. For real.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a future at the club. I certainly wouldn't sell him at all. I see him as a valuable squad member, and like I said, I think against, especially when we're struggling for a goal and teams are parking the bus, I think he is absolutely like the best option. And he loves the club, man. I think he said, he wants to fight for his place. And remember, and this is a message for Trent. When we signed him, I think there was about 5 or 6 of the top clubs in Europe also wanted to take him, one including Real Madrid. And he's on record as saying, absolutely no way was I going to sign for Real Madrid and be in the same team as Sergio Ramos after what he did to Mo Salah. Boy, that's Harvey Elliott, bro. So Trent, please.
That's quality. I like that.
And he could have signed for them. Said no.
So, Lille, undefeated in 21 games before they met us.
Their centre back was dredging. Now, was it Diakate? Good player, man.
Yeah,
that's some good players.
So I mean, a decent team. It wasn't no joke. It was a
good
decent
win. Good win.
Decent team, man. Good win, man. Definitely a good win. But once again, with Liverpool, Lille gone down to 10 men, and they still managed to come back and equalise.
The fullbacks.
You're thinking now's the time that you're not just going to control the game, just boss the game. You know what I mean? No, not Liverpool.
Was that a bit harsh because it was a deflection though?
No, you know what? It was concerning in regards to the build-up of the game because Bradley got out-muscled, right? Yep. And then if you look at it again, there was in the box, there were 6 Liverpool defenders against 2 Lille attackers. The guy Bradley got beat on the outside. The ball got cut back, and even though we had 6 defenders in our box, the Lille player had the first shot unopposed, and then the lads then stepped up and then put it in the empty net, and that concerns me. We're simply not cooking at the moment defensively. I can't really put my finger on why.
Yeah, we're not firing on all cylinders. To be fair, we're not.
But you know, a good thing is if we're not firing on all cylinders, and that's fine, and that's something that we can probably all agree on. But we're still sitting at the top of the Premier League. We're still sitting at the top of the Champions League. You know, we're at the latter stages of the League Cup and XYZ in the FA Cup as well. I think we've got whoever. I think we've got Plymouth next. So I do agree with you. We're not firing on all cylinders, but I still see steady progress being made, and me just being in a happy place. Yeah, there's definitely more to be done, but we're still in an all right place, man.
People say that when you perform like that, you're not performing well, but still winning games. That's a good sign of a championship winning team.
Absolutely.
They do say
and I think we are still playing well enough to be winning the games, and like they are all deserved wins. But I'm with Preds, and it's weird, right? Because you think we had the players back. There was clearly something around someone not being on the edge of the area who fits in that defensive midfield position, who would just be just ahead of the centre backs. And maybe Kostas could have done better. Bradley got beaten, but then Bradley's just come back. Was that his first start? Like he might have started against Trent started in the cup, right? So I think that's Bradley's first start. Kostas' his first start since he's come back, I think, as well, or second start maybe. So I think a few players, although they're fit, they haven't had much games of late. So maybe we're being overcritical. I don't know, because I feel defensively in the game we defended well, but
if you do,
was a bit.
if you check it right, how many times have we seen VVD go to ground?
Mm.
You don't.
Yeah,
That's not his thing.
On Tuesday night when they scored, like VVD's like lunging, putting his body on the floor, and that's what I'm saying. Like even when the ball got cut back, so all I put it down to, and I know it's critiquing, and who am I to say coach these top level players? But some of them were ball watching.
Yeah.
And they were ball watching, and for two little players, to have an attempt on goal each when we've got 6 defenders in the box.
It's not good enough.
That's got to be not good enough.
Yeah, it's not good enough. I fully agree. Chris says, I'd rather not be firing. It shows we can improve game by game, as Slot says.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's more to come. Definitely.
Yeah. Did you see the interview that Slot had with Rio Ferdinand and the question that Rio Ferdinand asked? That was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And it was like, it just answered the question there and then. It was like, answered the question answered. Let's move on. Yeah, I mean, and if you haven't seen it, it'll when you watch it, it'll bring a smile to your face.
Okay. Let's touch.
Des B says, he agree with Stoney. You can't play perfect intensive football the whole season. We are playing at 80% and still the team to beat. But, all right, so another part of that is, I'd have to look at it, is that where we're at also because the other teams are not performing as good as they should be.
But that's not our fault, though. That's not our fault.
I'm not.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not disputing.
No doubt. You see, for me, I'm in here just playing Mario Kart at the moment. I don't care if there's any mushrooms or flowers or anything around me at the moment. Yeah, my head is just focused on where we're about to be. It's as simple as that. And
Stoney beat me to it because Stoney beat me to it because I was going to say it's their business.
Yeah, because Artie, you know what? Even in that, and it's such a good and valid point that you've made, and I kind of look at it like this, right? The last 2 seasons, Arsenal were building something to try and challenge us in City, right? From nowhere, Nottingham Forest have become involved in the equation. Chelsea have spent X amount of £1 billion. Newcastle had new owners and had a certain amount of revenue that they were coming to be involved in the equation. Aston Villa are doing well and XYZ. Bournemouth are doing well and XYZ. So for me, other teams are progressing, but we are at an advanced stage. So for me, I'm just thinking with all of the stuff that supposedly we're not doing in terms of transfers and FSG, spending money in and around anywhere, we've still got a lot of our stuff in place and we're in a good position, man. So I'm happy. Seriously, I really am. I am. And as you said, let all of the fluffy stuff happen with all of the other teams. Let Man City be on the front and the back pages. Let Man United be on the front and back pages and Arsenal and stuff like that. I'm happy us doing what we needed to do. We get the points we crack on and we just bring home the silverware.
Well, I hope it's that. I really do hope it's that, gentlemen. I really, really do.
We're in a good place at the moment.
I don't know what's happened, but I've been agreeing with Stoney's comments for a few months. So I must be wrong, mate.
Now, I think Stoney's comments, obviously, I think that's the best way forward. I think he's got a point. I think maybe in the league, we've dropped off a little bit. Hence why we're having last-minute dramas against Bournemouth, and we've dropped a couple of points. As far as we really should have won. Again, the goal that Forest conceded, that we conceded against Forest. I know we spoke about it last week, but there are these moments where it's just like something's happening and it's not quite clear because our overall defending is pretty strong, but there's just a few moments where like we've just not quite been at it, and then we're having to then chase the game a little bit more. And but I just think, look, all you guys watch that interview with Slot and Rio Ferdinand, and it isn't because of that interview, but I just think you just get more insight into how brilliant this guy's tactical brain is. So I just think he will find solutions. He will find solutions. And I think he's one of these managers where all of the things that we've mentioned, we are not nitpicking, because trust me, this guy has seen it as well, and he's been ways to combat it, because this guy sees everything in it. Like, man, come like Neo in the Matrix. He's just seeing something else completely. So yeah. He'll be thinking of ways to kind of address things. Absolutely. But I think for the Champions League, I think we've been really good, because I feel like we've played. I'm pretty sure that we had the toughest 8 games, right? In terms of who we've played. So no, I think we've probably been more consistent in Europe than we have in the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I can't think of too many bad games we've had. Maybe Girona, but other than that, I thought we've been pretty much like really, really, really strong.
He says, when Man City are leading the table, it's how great they are, and Pep is great. Now it's the other teams are not performing. Now we're top of the table.
Valid point.
Yes,
so true.
Mark says, I don't believe about other clubs. Liverpool overachieved last season, and now we're showing was really achievement at level where we're meant to be. That said, next season, contracts.
Listen, we don't have a crystal ball, and I agree with dear Mark. That's a valid point, but I think we've probably been here in the last 4, 5, 6 seasons. FSG have obviously got their blueprint and their template, how they're gonna run the club. Nothing's gonna change. So I think regardless of what we say, regardless of what fans say, regardless of what forums say, they know how they're going to run the club. So I agree with you that we're overachieving, but that's how I believe that we're going to have to manage in the next few years as well. We are not going to have a big windfall of money. I don't envisage that. I don't see us being in a position where we're going to be doing where other clubs are doing, where we're going to be selling our homegrown players or selling hotels like Chelsea and their women's football team just to make sure they meet financial regulations. So we're in the position that we're in, and we just have to manage. And we are managing because, as you said, we're overachieving and we're battling against these other teams with more finance than us.
I don't feel at ease saying that Liverpool Football Club are overachieving.
Agree.
I think we're at a level where we as a Liverpool Football Club should be. Like, I don't think we're overachieving. I think the management, FSG, whoever's in charge of the looking for the new manager, they've done their homework. So you've got to say plaudits to them. Slot's come in and he's organised it the way he wants it. He's put his stamp on it. So all plaudits to him. The players have got on board with his ideas, and you've got players like Mo Salah saying that the manager's got good ideas. The supporters, it's one of those transitions. Like, I'm a supporter. I'm still in transition from being on the edge of my seat to now being sitting back and thinking, okay, we are playing a little bit different, a different style of football. However, I'm never worried. I'm not worried, because we control games, and the way we control games, we're always going to get chances. And I always believe that even if we've shown it this season, we've got to go behind, but we've shown the character and the quality, not just to come back, but then to just come back and win the game as well. So
true that.
I think we're at a good level when. I think so.
I'm gonna throw something in here then, right? In terms of overachieving, right? Is anybody concerned at the fact that, considering that we're an elite club, that we never ever attract world-class players?
No, I'm not, because I don't think you need. See, because I feel like, for me personally, I think the model that FSG have created with Michael Edwards and the transfer committee, especially after like in the post Kenny and Andy Carroll nonsense, and you look at like the Brentfords and the Brightons, I think it just shows with good recruitment you can achieve top things. And I think where we came unstuck is when we achieved success under Klopp, we didn't refresh the team enough. And maybe the money went into extending contracts rather than bringing in new talent. But I think in terms of our model, I think our
And the
model,
stadium.
stadium, the ethic and the car. But I think our model is good enough, and I just feel like if I'm looking at, okay, there are a few places in the team that I think we're lacking quality. Number 9 and then left back. But you take those places aside, I feel like McAllister is one of the best midfielders in Europe, in my opinion. Gravenberch been one of the best holding midfielders in Europe this season. Trent, we talk about Trent like he's one of the best right backs to do it, and is probably the most highest paid right back in world football or close to it.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk's in the conversation to be the best centre back of the Premier League era or even ever. Alisson, same thing for goalkeeper. Mo Salah's hitting all kinds of records. So actually, when I think about what players that we've got, I expect to see this. Like I actually expect to see us competing. We can't, on one hand, say Mo's the best forward ever, or Mo's close to Henry, or Mo's this, that, and the other, and then not have high expectations for this team. So yeah, I just feel like if we think these players are as good as what we think they are, then I think this is what they're meant to be doing.
Well, VW says we make world-class players. We don't buy them, basically. I want to go back to a comment that Vinny made, which I think is very, very good, very, very valid comment. He says, our conversion rate from chances created is what can offset our performance. Defense-wise, we can be prone to the odd error, which causes a goal, but we need to be more clinical.
Spot on.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Vinny. I must say, that is brilliant.
Well, yeah, if you look at like, it's a great point, because if you look at, I know we've spoken about the Brentford game already, but how many teams do you know has gone to Brentford and has 37 shots?
Now, like it's a record, right?
But then 37 shots and converting 2. that rate's got to get better in regards to being clinical.
Agree.
So Chris says, financially we are overachieving. For our club size, this is where we should be.
I think FSG. I know that there's quite a lot of contention with Liverpool supporters in regards to FSG. The part that like them and the part that don't like them and think that there's an ulterior motive, X, Y, Z. But you can't kind of forget, like, they've come since they've been in. They've been there for 15 years, and Liverpool off the pitch have got better and stronger, and there's no doubt, there's no denying that.
It says here, well, Chris says that they're Americans, they're businessmen.
No, absolutely.
About business, yeah.
Absolutely.
It says FSG had this money ball model: buy players young, and later they'll have a sellable value. We don't buy superstars, we make them.
But then even then in the model, there is then space to then buy what we consider to be the ready-made or the top-level elite talent. So obviously, I know we talk about the Jotas and the Manes and the Mo Salahs, and yes, we have done that, but we've also signed the Alissons and the Van Dijks and the Nuneses. It just so happens that Nunes hasn't worked out, but we've committed £85 million to a striker. He's just not, okay, like, I won't call him a dud, but I'll call him a dud. Because and sometimes you have to be honest. Like if Nunes had done what he was meant to have done for our track record and for that investment, then we've got a clinical striker. So we have invested in a clinical striker. Not many teams in Europe have got a number 9 who costs more than what Nunes cost.
Okay.
City's record signing, Haaland cost how much? Okay, obviously that was a buyout clause. Arsenal, Havertz, Jesus, who's Chelsea's record number 9 signing? So I feel like we have invested in certain positions. He just hasn't done it.
For real. All right, quickly, gentlemen. So, 2 more quick questions before we wrap this one up. Has Tsimikas been better than Robbo?
Yes.
Yes.
Woo! Here goes Stoney with his go past me again. Look.
Nah. This is just bad because
This season,
Yeah.
I'm talking about this season.
isn't I think that is just such a travesty that Tsimikas is even in a conversation about anything, and I think that probably shows about the levels of where Robbo's falling to, where we're even thinking that Tsimikas is in a position to actually be and it hurts me.
Agreed. Total agree.
I'm really being serious. It really hurts me that we're saying Tsimikas is actually playing left back regularly for Liverpool. So that's a concern. But your original question was, do we think that he's been playing better than Robbo this season? And it hurts me to say the answer is yes.
Okay.
It hurts me.
Okay. All right. Since we have comfortably qualified for the Champions League, what kind of team do you put out for our very last game?
I actually thought he was going to play
PSV away, I think.
No, I was gonna say PSG away.
No,
PSV away.
Oh, sorry, PSV. Well, listen, I think he's going to put out a strong side because he's not going to go back to his homeland and put out a skeleton side.
But there's no need to.
But there was no need to play a strong squad against Lille either because we had already qualified.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was going to play. I actually thought that he was going to play. I shouldn't say a weakened team. I actually thought he was going to play a different team against Lille, and I was surprised that the team was so strong. I was so surprised that it was actually so strong. And the other thing that I took into account, and I was even thinking, well, he could have played a different team against Lille because the next game we're home to Ipswich. So even that, I was thinking, well, he could have played a different team. And then you think when we play against PSV, we then play Bournemouth afterwards. And yeah, Bournemouth are playing good. We're aware of that. But I just thought that he was going to play a weakened team. However, I think even though we have qualified, I think he's just going to make sure that with the last game against PSV that we do go through it on at the top, and we just retain that form. So I can't see him changing the players for that. Still think he's going to play a strong team there.
Well, Chris says he don't care. He says he wants him to put out the dinner ladies. As far as I'm concerned, it's meaningless now. You know what? Listen, he's right, man. I'm putting them out. I'm putting out the ball boys, everybody.
But I guess he did rotate a little bit though, in that he took out Trent, took out Kanate, he took out Cody. Did Mac 10 start?
No, it was Ryan, Dom, and Jones started that game, was it? Because remember I said they played a 3.
Yeah,
played a 3.
So he rested Cody, Trent, Kanate, Mac 10. 4 of our main starters right now. So he has still tweaked it. Like if we were playing against Man City, I think those players start.
Desby said a team to win. Winning is a habit, and we don't want to lose momentum.
I agree. It's one of those where it's very tempting to make wholesale changes. However, when you've got a team who are in the ascendancy that we're in at the moment, like why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, it's true. You're right. We're going to keep
avoid injuries and things like that and fatigue.
But then you know what? You're right about the rhythm of it, because even if you think of it, so you're right. We've got the PSV game, then we got Bournemouth, and then have we got Tottenham? We got Tottenham on the 6th, innit? We got Tottenham, and then Plymouth, and then we got Everton. So you're right. We need to keep that rhythm and momentum going. But what I think that he will probably do is similar to what he did do in the Lille game, they will give different players game time. So what he's been doing with Kaiser, giving him game time, he will give game time to like Harvey Elliott. Hopefully Morton gets some game time if he doesn't go out on loan. So that's what I'd prefer for him to do. Just 20 minutes here and there for these other players, but not wholesale changes. I don't want him to do that.
But you got to say though, our squad's quite strong.
Yeah, it is.
If you think about it,
Squad's very strong.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I think Slot's got that now. He's got that in an environment where if you do play, you've got to play, because if you don't play well, we've seen that he won't hesitate dragging players off if they're not doing what they need to do. So I think the players are. I think he's made his mark, and the players are well aware. Listen, there's going to might be a little bit of rotation X, Y, and Z, but there's no excuse. Once you cross that white line and you've got the shirt on, you're playing. You're expected to play at the same level. At the same level, there's no drop. So,
Right.
it's good.
Quickly, gentlemen, let's have your results predictions for the Ipswich match.
2-0.
Okay. So Doctor says 2-0, yeah? Okay.
It's just one of those teams in it. Liverpool win. I think it's going to be Liverpool win, and you know what? I think I'm going to say we're going to get a clean sheet, 3-0 win.
3-0. Okay.
2-0. Same result that we had in August when we played them. 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I just think after City clarted them, I just think they're gonna just be mad defensive. Yeah, you can't hold that clarting like that, like and then try and be open again. So I can see them. Yeah,
Chris Welsh says 4-0. Right.
Okay.
There's B says 4-0. Is there something I don't know, gentlemen? Yeah. Like this 4-0. Chris, do I need to go to the business?
I think if Liverpool getting early,
I forgot to tell you, when I asked that question, he did answer me in the comments. He did actually say his dad did put the bet on, but he also put Liverpool to draw.
oh,
So that messed it up. Mark is saying 3-0. Okay. So, gentlemen, we're just going to quickly run through any other business before we wrap this up. Chris Woods signs new deal at Forest. Bang
Credit to him.
I'm telling you.
Credit to him.
Doing better than Nunes, I tell you.
clinical right now. Clinical.
Hold on. Vinny says,
yeah, but I think that's what the doctor was saying about the chances that Nunes was getting, is that probably we're not playing to his strengths. Where on the other side of it, not in the Forest are playing to Wood's strengths.
And
So
Kyle Walker, the deal has been agreed now for him to sign. He's going for a medical to sign for AC Milan on loan with the option.
He's running from his baby mums, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was going to say, be careful what you're saying.
Options to purchase him for a whopping 4.2 million.
What's that? Say it again.
I said that with the option to purchase him for a whopping 4.2 million.
He just needs to get out. He just needs to get out of the country, innit? Like
He does big time, man.
He's off.
Yeah.
He's
he's off.
And the worst thing is, there was that interview when Pep announced that Walker said that like he wanted to leave, right? And Pep just seemed mad, just like calm and said, yeah, he said he wants to go. I understand, and I think City's energy has always been, player wants to leave, then they'll let them leave. Then when the news broke about Pep, I said, yeah, you can see why he was so calm about Walker Dutton, because he's like, bro, I understand, innit?
Yeah.
Pep must be the first man to get divorced because he spent too much time doing his job, you know. And on top of the millions that his job has occurred, the wife's taken half.
Yeah, thank you.
Later.
You know what? I didn't say it too loud, yeah, but you know, sometimes it works out a lot cheaper to get rid of them, you know.
Right? And the worst thing is they're saying that Pep was crying after the court case and it, like he's just mad devastated. Oh, I heard you still. Nothing. Nothing.
You're missing. You can't play this game. You can't play this video or this vlog.
Yeah? I'm just saying. All right, cool. And
hey, all I'm saying, when my missus watches this, babe, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Yeah.
Yo, it was AI.
No.
It was AI.
No joint enterprise here. No joint enterprise here, bruh.
The glitch.
Oh gosh.
Rashford to Barker is looking very unlikely, and that's due to Barker's lack of finances.
Yeah.
Rashford
What's
really
that, sorry?
move to go to Barker, but it's looking unlikely at the moment because of their financial.
Yeah, exactly. After they had to hustle to sign Olmo.
Let Olmo in. Yeah. Yeah, that was never going to happen.
You know what though? What's happening? What's that?
€1 million for Garnacho.
Oh, that's nuts. That's nuts.
70 mil.
Nuts. 17 mil.
Chelsea, when they do it, listen, I can see Chelsea doing it.
Yeah,
I don't know where they get this money from.
Chelsea, you know, I'm like,
I don't know where they get this money from, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Boy, if they want to take my sort code and account number,
bro. I put on a kit and run up and down a bit. You get me? Flipping it. But yes, gentlemen, I must say, thank you very much, gents. It's been a blast, and I've actually written down these scores this time. You know that I've got them written down. We will revisit them next week. I've got the evidence right here on paper. Thank you very much, peoples. It's been a blast. Remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. It's always about Cop Talk each and every Thursday. One stop right here, 10 o'clock as usual. That's our kickoff time. All right.
One stop driver.
Thank you to my wonderful panel, man. Preds, he turns up when he wants. He turns up when he wants. Mr. Preds, he turns up when he wants.
I've got my own song.
Doctor, my brother.
Brilliant show. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're back in next week with hopefully 6 more points now.
That's the one. Stoney.
Yeah, listen, it was just good to be back. As he said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and look forward to seeing everybody next week, Thursday at the same time.
Be safe.
Peace out, my peoples.
Shoot.